Hey guys, it's Fadal and Foley with divorce and real estate and everything in between. And we're excited to have you here today to talk about a couple questions we have regarding divorce, regarding real estate.
And I'm William Foley, Foley Divorce. This is the channel, and I'm a Florida divorce lawyer. So what about you, Cristan?
Yeah, so Cristan Fadal with Fadal Real Estate, broker owner here in Tampa, Florida. And I'm excited to be with you, Bill.
Awesome, man. Let's have fun.
I am. And start out, I have a joke for you.
What's that?
What home weighs the least?
What?
A lighthouse.
Nice. There you go. There you go. So question number 1. Should I use Zillow and the Zestimate to figure out the price of my home? What do you think?
Zestimate. Oh, that's good. That's a good question. The Zestimate is an exciting piece, right?
Yep.
From Zillow. So, your question, it depends. Everyone loves to say it depends. Really, the Zestimate, I would take it with a grain of salt.
Okay.
The best thing that I can always tell people is if they really want to look at the details and they're into the Zestimate, you can actually go on Zillow and you can click down and it'll show you the properties that they're kind of using for their comparative number to come up with their number.
So it's the comps. The comps is what's helping it.
Well, yeah. So it's driving from comparable sales, things that are pending, things that maybe are off market but are similar properties. So I wouldn't say it's fully accurate because it's just taking it from a computer generated intelligence. It's deriving it from. The best thing to do, particularly in a divorce situation, I would think they want to get as accurate as possible.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Right. So two options. One is they could do what's called the CMA, comparative market analysis. And that's where you would just bring in a real estate agent like myself, come in. We know exactly what's sold. We've seen all the homes in the area. And so we can provide a very accurate assessment of what that price is. So that's first. Second thing is you can actually go get an appraisal. And that's from a certified appraiser. We don't do appraisals, but you can get a certified appraiser to come in and they will actually follow the appraisal standards to come up with a number. So those are two options I probably recommend. The Zestimate, I think, is if you're just looking for something, check out Zillow and you see it and it feels good and you feel good looking at it. But accuracy, I think you're going to have to really look at the CMA or an appraisal.
It sounds like an air freshener to me, like the Zestimate.
Oh,
I don't know. Like I'm going to go get the vanilla scented or the Zestimate. I don't know. But so many people in divorces and just looking to buy a home, they go to that. They go to Zillow. Zillow's huge. It's the 800-pound gorilla in the room. So it's there, and the Zestimate. So what I'm hearing is it's helpful, but you need to do a little bit more homework.
Yeah, I think it just depends on your situation, right? So if you really need something accurate and something that you can take either in front of a judge or in front of a mediator, or those are the things that you're going to want to have something that's more than just, hey, I printed it off my printer and here's what the Zestimate says, so this is how much my home is worth.
All right, question number 2. So, Cristan, what is it like being a realtor broker during a divorce?
Man, I tell you, and it's probably similar in your situation, but I'll tell you a story, a little story here. So I've had a number of clients that have been going through a divorce, horrible thing. So one time I was called to do a listing presentation, and I go and sit down with both parties. We're sitting there, didn't know it was a divorce situation at all, didn't think about that at all. We sit at the table, and the first thing out of one of the parties' mouth is, "So, just want to let you know that we've decided to get a divorce." Well, unbeknownst to the husband.
By the way,
So unbeknownst to the husband, he didn't know that was going to be. They hadn't fully talked about that, so he was a little surprised.
Oh, so the husband didn't even know.
Right, he wasn't really planning for that one. So that was. So obviously it's not the most little awkward there, but anyway, so that was an interesting story. But I have dealt with a number of divorce situations, and that was probably the most awkward one.
So this is legit. Like when I asked him that question, I thought it was going to be more from the perspective, but I mean, so not only does it happen in the context, as a divorce lawyer, that we get people that have already decided on a divorce, but they need to sell it, and then there's issues. And my number one suggestion is keep an open line of communication with your spouse and then also with your realtor, okay? Make sure your realtor knows, because you don't want that to happen. Yeah. It can just create a lot of issues, and then there's differing agendas from both sides. So just be open, be honest, tell your realtor what's going on. All right, before we get to number 3, you got to subscribe. Go just right down below. You see the subscribe button? Hit that. Hit the subscribe button for Foley Divorce. We're a Florida divorce and family law firm. So you can go to foleydivorce.com. And then also, Cristan, what about you?
So CristanFadel.com, or you can go to Cristan Fadel Real Estate. Hit us up on Instagram. Same with YouTube as well, Cristan Fadel.
Got to get the socials in. Let's do this.
Yes. Okay, so we have question number 3, right? And that's home ownership and how do you split up assets in a divorce?
Okay.
So, like if you have a dog and
Yeah.
a house,
Yeah.
and like how does that work?
Here's the crazy thing, all right? So a lot of people don't know this. In Florida, dogs are property, as is a home, and that's the way that the courts look at it. And sometimes people call us about like custody of an animal or something. They're both property. So animals and house. So you kind of got to look at it the same way that you're dividing property. And usually the marital home is the biggest one, is the biggest thing that they got, except for maybe if there's a large retirement or some type of investment or a business. But you really got to hit that one hard, and you got to make sure that you are figuring it out. And it's not the same in every case, but talk to an attorney, think about it, think about what you want to do, if you're going to stay, if you're going to go. But it's big. It's a big part of a lot of divorces.
So in what you deal with, do you find that most people want to try to, like, one spouse will keep the home, the other spouse wants the money out of it, they want to sell it all? I mean, because I've been on the other side where it's mostly everyone they're looking to sell it, obviously.
Yeah.
But what's the better? Is there a better situation to do one or the other?
If you can afford to buy the other person out, then that might be the best way to go.
Okay.
And if you got kids and you want to keep the kids there, understandable. But sometimes for us, and what I'll tell clients a lot of times is, sometimes a fresh start is good. Sometimes a clean break, and just sell it. And that way you guys split the equity. Let's hope the market keeps staying up, so there's equity to split. You want to be splitting debt. That's what I was doing 10 years ago. So right now, splitting equity, you're able to start new, start fresh, go on, find a great realtor, find a great broker to help you out with your real estate needs, and get a new house and start from there. But if you want to keep it, it's just figuring out, it's running through the calculator, figuring out what's the best way to do it and how can you split up the debt and the equity in it.
That's great. Okay, guys, so we would love to hear from you. So hit us up on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, with what your questions are related to divorce, related to real estate, or anything in between. And I have another joke for you, Bill.
What do you got?
I do. So, what does a home wear?
What?
An address.
Oh, nice. There you go. See, this is the quality stuff you get.
Absolutely.
Comment below. Let us know what's up. Tell us your questions. Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys.